Alright, so I just spoke for 2 minutes and it wasn't recording. We're gonna go over my team very quickly versus something Amsterdam. Yeah, Lucario, my suicide lead, versus this team. I have a Bullet Punch to threaten out Diancie and also pick off any Pokemon that may carry Focus Sash, such as Rose Raid. Okay, and Masquerain, I guess. Close combat is just stab. It does a lot to Keldeo and Rotom and Druddigon and Kamala. I have Ice Punch for Rose Raid and Gliscor and Druddigon. Gliscor takes about 80% and then it's in range of Bullet Punch, assuming it has no defensive EVs, but just weakening it is enough for me because if you were to Earthquake me as an Ice Punch and then I Ice Punch again because I don't want him to roost, and then he Earthquakes me anyway, he's forced to roost against Camerupt, and then I can Rock Polish up and win. So yeah, speaking of Rock Polishing up and winning, I have Dark Pulse for Doublade at 2 KOs because Doublade does a lot offensively versus my team. Ghost move, fighting move, stab, steal move, or ghost move, and then Camerupt kind of deals with it, but then ghost move, fighting move. I don't have anything to beat it. So, well, I do. I have something that goes even with it. I have Muck, which kind of deals with it. I can knock off its a Violet, and then knock off will start doing. Even though knock off is weaker since it does have an item, it'll do more because a Violet was removed. So yeah, Dark Pulse does like exactly 50%. So it can't switch into a Dark Pulse and then another Dark Pulse, so that's cool. Camerupt versus his team at +2 speed. Outspeeds Diancie, so any Scarfers I'm gonna have to be wary of. But the only thing he has for it is like Hidden Power Water Rotom, which is why I named it Hidden Power Water Rotom. I don't know, kind of funny. Kamala kind of deals with it, but Z Earth Power, Oko's Keldeo, regular Earth Power, Oko's Diancie, Doublade, does about 60% to Rose Raid. I have Hidden Power Ice for Gliscor. I have Ancient Power for Rotom, just so I don't get walled by it. I might run a more neutral move, actually. I had Flamethrower, but Flamethrower doesn't hit. I don't want Ancient Power specifically because it only hits Rotom. I don't know. I think he's definitely bringing Rotom versus me because it deals with Torn. Yeah, you know what? And then, so Ancient Power does about 30%. 30 to 40. And then, if I can weaken Rotom, then Torn kind of just does really well versus him. So yeah, I have HPS for Gliscor, Ancient Power for Rotom, and then Earth Power hits everything else. Ancient Power also hits Masquerain, which is nice. And then Ancient Power can also just give me boosts. Like, if he goes into Rotom and I get an Ancient Power boost along with a Rock Polish, that's just GG. Yeah, up next is Torn, because my current lineup, kind of weak to Rose Raid, kind of weak to Gliscor, so I have Icy Wind, I have Assault Vest Tornadus. This takes only 60% from Life Orb, Sludge Bomb, Rose Raid, so yeah, and then I outspeed Mega Diancie. I can U-turn versus it and go into Slowking, which is easy to deal with it, but I'll go into that after I explain Torn. I have Icy Wind to KO Gliscor because I'm really scared of losing to Gliscor. As you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Pokemon with an Ice move. Yeah, I got walled by a Skarmory one game, so I don't want to get walled by his Deathmon with Roost, basically. Because, like, those Pokemon are just, if you can't 2-hit KO it, you're never going to kill it. So yeah, I have Air Slash as Stab, does it KOs Keldeo and Rose Raid, does a decent chunk to Druddigon, KOs Masquerain, decent chunk to Spiritomb, yeah, Icy Wind can slow down a Scarfer, and it also 2 KOs Gliscor. And if Masquerain comes and it's Quiver Dance, I can always take 1 hit, and then Icy Wind it, and then Air Slash it the next turn. I have Knockoff to help not only deal with the Blade by removing its Violet, but also get rid of Rotom's item, because it's probably going to want to come in on Torn. So if it has Assault Vest, some 50% Pinch Berry, or Leftovers, any of those will be really nice. Really nice to remove for Camera Up. Knockoff also is nice for removing Leftovers from Pokemon like Spiritomb and Komala. Slowking is my check to Keldeo and Diancie and Gliscor. It is Fizz Def so that it can always 1 hit from Diancie. And obviously it always takes a hit from Keldeo. I have Psyshock because it does a lot to Keldeo and Roserade. It does more to Roserade than Psychic does. But, I don't know. Yeah, I might run Psychic, but yeah. I have Ice Beam for Gliscor and Druddigon. I had Foul Play for Blade, but it only does like 30%, so never mind. Scald does like 40 to 50% to it. So yeah. Just 3 attacks with Slack Off. Fizz Def to deal with Diancie mostly, but then it can always take a hit from Gliscor, and I can Ice Beam it, but Tornadus checks Gliscor well enough. I have Mew with Psychic, Heal Bell, Stealth Rock, and Roost. Stealth Rock is to chip away at Rotom, and basically put everything in range of Camera Up, because, okay, Z, Earth Power, always OHKOs Keldeo after Rocks, but it only sometimes OHKOs without Rocks, so I just want to guarantee it dying. And Rocks is really nice because I'm going to be U-turning around with Torn, because it threatens his entire team basically, and it also helps chip away at Rotom, which is the main thing preventing Camera Up from winning outright. Muck literally exists to absorb T-Spikes. I had Goodra on here, which on paper is much better, can take hits from everything on this team, and it has a super effective move to OHKO everything back. Or, and if not OHKO, then put it in range for Camera Up. Ice Beam for Gliscor, Fire Blast for Blade, Power Up for Keldeo, Iron Tail or Earthquake for Diancie, Ice Beam or like Outrage or anything for Roserade. Dragon Stab for Rotom or Muddy Water, I guess. Ice Beam or Dragon Stab Druddigon. Ice Beam or Fire Blast or Dragon Stab Masquerain. And then it hits Komala, Spiritomb, and Meowstic relatively hard. Yeah. But Muck, not only does it remove items with Knockoff and have a 60% chance of poisoning thanks to Poison Jab plus Poison Touch, but also absorbs Toxic Spikes, and it's a nice split up Pokemon for Pokemon like Diancie. If I'm in a tough situation, I can always send Muck out and do about 30 to 40% with Poison Jab, and then if I get the poison, that would do another 12%. Roserade gets walled by this. If he goes for Sleep Powder, I can Sleep Talk. If he tries to set up a Spike. Rotom, if he Will-O-Wisp me, I can rest it off and then Sleep Talk. Druddigon and Masquerain, Meowstic, Spiritomb, Komala, I can remove its item. Gliscor, I doubt he'll risk coming in on a knockoff without his Toxic Work Proc. And then Doublade, I can remove its Violet to help Lucario and Tornadus and Slowking KO it. And then Slowking, I think it's outspeed Spiritomb. And then Muck outspeeds no speed Komala. Komala's a huge threat to me too. But if I keep Lucario around, and then I can whittle away at it if it's offensive with Torn, because I can just U-turn and then sack something and then knock off if it's banded, and then yeah. Okay, this was a lot faster than my normal team builder prep video, but I did record the entire episode without actually recording, so I was just talking to myself for half an hour. So I don't feel like talking anymore. You could hear my voice cracking because I was talking so much. Thank you for watching, and peace. I'll upload the next video within the next week. I'm sorry for not uploading the past 2 videos. I didn't really have time. So yeah,